Last but not least, investigation 2, which is actually kind of the third example. The end game here, the end goal here is we are going to create an equation. Create an equation from the words. So I called Kelly's Cabs. The cost of a ride is a fixed cost, or a constant, of $3.60 and 1.5 kilometer per, or $1.50 per kilometer driven. Write an expression for the fare, sorry about that, dudes, fare in terms of the fixed cost and the cost per kilometer. So write an expression. So remember, dial it back. Remember what an expression versus an equation is. Polynomials, we talked about expressions. They have no equal sign. And then write an equation that relates the fare to the distance traveled. And what is the fare for 11-kilometer ride? I bet you could do it. I bet if I would be like, here's the information, it's a fixed cost of $3.60 and, you know, it's $1.50 per kilometer driven, I bet you could do 11 kilometers. And what you're actually doing is you're creating a little equation in your brain, okay? And you don't even know it. What we're doing here right now is we're going to formalize it a little bit. So I'm going to say that, okay, so first of all, we're just going to write the expression. So expressions, they only deal with independent variables. Okay, they only deal with the inputs into an equation. So for this one, I would say, okay, so I'm going to say $3. I can use units in my expression. $3.60 plus $1.50 times any distance or kilometers driven. So if I were to go 2, I would say, okay, the whole trip, that would be kind of expensive for a 2-kilometer trip, but $1.50 times 2, which is $3, plus $3.60, which would be $6.60. So this right here is my expression. Now, we cannot forget to define our variables, where d is distance in kilometers. This right here is our independent variable, because we take the distance, we plunk it into our equation, and we're given the cost of the ride, which leads us to the second part. B. Write an equation that relates the fare to the distance traveled. Well, this is the easy part. As soon as you have the expression, cost equals, and I'm just going to change around the order a little bit, okay? I'm going to say 1.5 d plus 3.6. Okay, so I'm making it have less units as long as I state my, or as long as I define my variable well, where C is cost in dollars and D is distance in kilometers. Now what I can do is I can use that handy dandy little equation that I just created, C, and I can say, okay, well, D equals 11 because the distance is 11 kilometers. Another way that you can do this is you can match the, because sometimes they're going to give you the cost and say how far can you go on that, but this one, it's in kilometers, and I know that my distance is in kilometers, so we substitute in for my D. So C equals 1.5 times 11 plus 3.6. C equals, remember, bed mass. What we need to do is multiply the 1.5 by 11. Now 1.5 times 11 is 1650 plus 3.6. Now C is 20.1. Now here's the tricky thing. We've already stated that it's cost in dollars, so we don't necessarily need to write the units. However, if you fail to define your variable, you must absolutely have the answer as $20.10. Remember, 20.1, that's not how we express the money. We express the money with two decimal places. So, in summary, we can create charts and equations from real life data. Patterns can be described using equations and expressions. Now, I'm not super keen on the Math IXL for this, so what I'm going to do is get you to grab a word.